Yes, lovely people, welcome back to the channel. You're now tuning into the Indian Scouser. Please smash a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. As always, thank you for your support. It means a lot. It is much, much appreciated, each and every single one of you. Let's talk football. Liverpool nil, Chelsea nil. The El Crapico, the El Shitico, the mid-table clash, whatever you called it, pre-match, you were right. I was right. That's why no one was hyping up this game. It was a dead game of football. I'm not going to lie. Let's start with the lineup. I think we wanted to see the midfield, the trio in midfield, Thiago, Basetic, and Naby from the previous game against Wolves. So gotta give credits where it's due to Jurgen Klopp for that, sticking to the same mid. Now for the front three, I'm not starting from back as yet because I think, yeah, there's some question marks there. In the front three, it's obvious Darwin just came out from his hamstring injury. You can't just throw him in. So Salah, Harvey, and Gakpo. There's a slight issue there because I'm looking at that lineup thinking definitely Harvey's on the right because he had a great game against Wolves, scored a brilliant goal playing as right wing. That just means Mo goes up top. Gakpo plays where he normally plays in his position, left wing. When I say normally, I mean in, you know, when he was in PSV and for the national team with Netherlands. Yes, he can play false nine or in the number 10 role at times, but his position is on the left. So that's what I thought going into the game because Mo, I don't like him up top, but I think it's better than what Jurgen did, which was Mo on the right, Gakpo up top, and Harvey Elliott played as a left winger. If you're gonna play a left-footed player on the left wing, you better make sure he has pace to dribble down to the byline and cross it in with his pace. How are you doing that when you have Robbo overlapping? You can't. So I just don't get that from Klopp. Why would Harvey Elliott play on the left? Why would you play him there? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now the back four, I can understand why Gomez kept his starting spot with Konate because I think they both played well against Wolves, a clean sheet as well. And Trent, apparently he had a minor muscle injury before the game, so that's why James Milner, again, he was solid. He put in the shift. But where on earth was Calvin Ramsey again? Apologies if he's still suspended from his U21 red card, the suspension that he got. If he's still serving a ban, fair enough. But I think the other day, like recently, he just played again for them. So why isn't he on the bench at least? We signed him to be Trent's understudy, so play him. I'm so tired of seeing James Milner, 37 years old, James Milner right back, playing it right back in 2023. But not gonna lie, he put in a shift. He was solid. I think up until Mudryk came on, the new signing for Chelsea, then you could see there was a problem there. There's an issue because of Mudryk's pace up against James Milner. I'm pretty sure I think he picked up a yellow. But that's when Jurgen, after a while, I think he subbed on Trent. Other thing he could have done was obviously bring on Matip and put Joey G right back. But we need to see Trent because there was no one creating anything. The lack of creativity in that game. Let me not get started. First half, I think, yeah, early in the game, Just a couple minutes into the game, they scored an early goal from a set piece, but thank God it was offside. And it was just dead. Yeah, I think Basetic did well because if that was Hendo or Fabinho, we keep saying the same things week in, week out. Now we can see some legs in midfield, and these players, they can handle the pressure when they're under pressure. They can get out of any trouble because the young kid, Basetic, man, he's only 18. I think he's really mature for his own age, the way he plays, the way he is so calm on the ball. He's not always panicking, but he picked up an early yellow, and I think that changed the game for him, in my opinion. And the way he approached the game from there onwards, it just made it a bit more difficult for him. That's understandable because he doesn't have much experience as yet. I think it was his first start, I believe, in the Premier League, and that was against Chelsea. So it wasn't an easy task, but credits to him. And yeah, there was no creativity at all. I think Gakpo had a few chances, but he kept skying it. I think this guy, he's just waiting to get his first goal. It was kind of like Darwin Nunez, when he came in, but Darwin scored in his debut. And let's not forget he scored in the Community Shield as well before the Fulham game. So he didn't have as much pressure. But as for Gakpo, you can just tell that it's been 4 games now, and he's not even like coming on here and there. He started for the 4th game in a row. But again, it's like walking into a house that's burning down. There's fire everywhere. He walked into a mess. You can't blame him. He started against Wolves both the games at home and the replay game away. And he started away at Brighton in the Premier League and now at home against Chelsea, his home debut in the Prem. But he just needs to calm down, look for the easy passes. As for Mo Salah, I think that was 3 games without a shot on target. We need to have a conversation about him, whether it's the lack of motivation. I think because now he signed that big contract. What is it? Just playing for the money now because you've won every single thing there is to win for the club. In club football, he's won everything in the Premier League since he came. But I'm sure he's the type of player who wants more. He has to be hungry, surely. Once you taste the trophies, the titles, you want to go again. So I don't think it's because of that. Then you can think, well, is it all the games he's played last season? He's played the most. We went into all competitions up until the very last day, into all finals. He himself played the AFCON final and the World Cup qualification, 2 heartbreaks, plus 2 more heartbreaks in the Prem and Champions League for that's 4. If there's anyone who's allowed to have a season off, it is Mohamed Salah. What people were saying, 1 season wonder, more like 5, 6. I don't have to talk numbers. The stats speaks itself. So you can't blame Mo at all, but he needs to step up his game. I am kind of concerned. I am worried. We're playing poor as a collective, as a team. So it's not only him. I can't point fingers at anyone in specific right now. It's the whole team. Second half, I thought he would step it up, but no. I think throughout the game, they had the better chances, the clear-cut chances. I think we were there for the taking. We've lost 2 Leeds at home this season. Of course, we're going to lose to Chelsea. The only positive I can take from this game is us coming away with another clean sheet. We didn't concede 2 games in a row against Wolves and now Chelsea at home. That's the only positive I can take from this. And probably Basetic. I think he needs to start games from now on. Him, Thiago, and the other one you can rotate between Naby and Hendo. If you want to bring Flacco in, then what? Play a double pivot of Flacco and Basetic and Thiago in the 10. We're not going to play 4-2-3-1. We have lots of players who can play in the 10. Harvey, Cavallo, Ox, Bobby. I think we need to go back to a 4-4-2 diamond or 4-2-3-1. We have players to come back ASAP. I will touch on the Brighton game in the FA Cup 4th round on Sunday, right at the end of the show. My quick lineup and score prediction. But I think that's it for the Chelsea game. It was a bore fest. Nothing much to say. I actually thought we would come out all guns blazing, but same old story with our early kickoffs this season. Lost to Forest, opening day drew to Fulham, drew to Everton away. We hadn't won a game. 12:30 kickoff. But yeah, the Brighton game, that will be in the last segment. Now, I am going to give you my Premier League team of the season so far. I will share my screen, so let's get into it right now. So let's start with the goalkeeper. Obviously, there are a few candidates. Top of the league, Aaron's Ramsdale. But I think it's David Raya of Brentford who has the most saves so far this season. Ramsdale, he's been good, making key saves, match-winning saves, but you have to give credits to their defense as well. Same with Nick Pope, who has the most clean sheets right now, because Newcastle, they have the best defense, conceded the least. But again, it's because they have such a good back four in front of him, in front of Nick Pope. I'm actually going to be a bit biased for this because, hey, why not? I'm a little fan. It's my channel. He's the only guy I can get in this team. It's Alisson Becker for me. Reason being, well, we're sitting 9th on the table, but without him, without this guy this season, we're talking relegation right now for Liverpool. I don't think we would be where we are. He's made massive saves. You guys know about how we play the high line. So the amount of time this guy had to make saves on one-on-one situations, he's been immense. Honestly, it's ridiculous, how many times this guy has to save us from those one-on-ones with so many teams already so far this season. And it's not just the one-on-ones, because we know some of them are offside if we play the high line properly and, the offside trap tactic. But even coming out and collecting the ball, being so calm, and, the distribution, I think overall, this guy, he's definitely been our player of the season. And yeah, you could say Nick Pope, David Raya had better seasons and they're above us right now. But again, like I said, I'm being biased, so it's Alisson Becker in goal. Now let's start the right back. Definitely not Trent for this. So there are a few for this. Again, shout outs to Ben White, who has to play right back this season. He does center back, but he's been putting in a shift for Arsenal right back, playing ahead of Tomiyasu. Yes, if you talk about the last game, he was poor against Man United and Tomiyasu came on. But overall, so far this season, I think he's been great. But I'm going to give it to Trippier because I think he's one of the reasons why Newcastle are where they are. Since he signed for the club, was it like second half of last season? This guy's been absolutely fantastic for Newcastle. His goals, his assists, I think it's right up there. Well, if you combine them from last season, he scored only 1 this season, but he's had 4 assists, which is the highest for a right back, leveled with, I think, Kenny Tate of Fulham. And if we're speaking about all fullbacks, it's just Andy Robertson and Perisic, who play as a left wing back, who's got 5 assists, just 1 more than he does. So I'm going with Trips for this. Now left back, obviously Dan Burn, he's been playing for Newcastle. Left back this season, he's huge. He's actually a center back, but he's been playing left back for them, doing an amazing job. Robertson, not really this season. He's been switching with Simicast, not really consistent. Who else are there? And by the way, I haven't had this planned from before. I'm doing it right here on the spot, because I just want to go with what comes up on the top of my head, because if I think of them means definitely they've played a part so far this season. That's why I can remember it. But other shout outs, I think, would be Luke Shaw, some games, Cancelo when he's playing on the left, but City again, they're not the same City this season. Sometimes it's what Ake on the left. Last game, I think I saw Laporte in the first half there. So yeah, Sergio Gomez when it comes to like cup games, but obviously this is just the Premier League. And that's why, like I said, Alisson, the howler he made was in the FA Cup. And speaking of right back before this, I forgot to mention Rico Lewis of Man City, the youngster. But again, he's been playing just the last few games. So far, 19, 20 games, I would give it to Trippier. Left back, this is a tough one. It's actually a tough one. But I'm going to go with Zinchenko. This guy, man, I think he's been one of Arsenal's standout players so far this season. Obviously, you could talk about many more, which I will get to it. But this guy, he's literally been their playmaker alongside Martin Odegaard, like especially the last game against Man United, he was everywhere. He's had that free role. He's keeping Tierney on the bench. He's been a great addition for this side. A guy who knows how to win it. He's been there at Man City. So he's been a great signing so far for Arsenal. Definitely Zinchenko for me. Now moving on to the center backs. Surely one of them will have to be from Arsenal. Let's just put it out there. For me, I'm going with it's a tough one between Gabriel and Saliba, honestly. But I'm just gonna edge it to Gabriel only because he's got more headed clearances and also more blocks. I think it's a close one for this because they've been such a good pair this season so far. Great center back partnership between them. But I'm just going to slightly give it to Gabriel. I think Saliba started the season really well. Arsenal fans are hyping him up because, they've signed a few seasons ago, but he went on loan to Marseille last season. So it's obviously his first season in the Prem. He's still settling in. He's still a young lad. He went to the World Cup, even though he came on for like one game. But Gabriel, for me, even though he didn't go to the World Cup, Brazil didn't select him. But I think overall, so far, after 19 games played for them, it's him for me. It's just a flip of a coin, really. But I like having that LCB, being a left-footed player myself. But as you can see, he's not here on this website. Let me just recheck again. Yep, he's not here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put in. Wait, nope, he's not there. I'm just gonna put in Gabriel Paulista only because he's a center back and he's their former player. He's played for Arsenal before. So let me just throw him in just for the sake of it. But it's Gabriel, yeah, people. It is Gabriel as the LCB. Now for the right center back, I'm gonna go with Sven Botman. This guy, another reason why Newcastle are in the top four at the moment and why they have the best defense. Him alongside Fabian Schär, they've both been immense, but I have to go with Botman because, again, this guy, the amount of blocks and clearances and interceptions, tackles, he's been great for them, rock solid at the back, and he was signing as well, coming to the Premier League in his first season. I think it has to be him, surely. There you go. So just a quick recap. Alisson in goal, Trippier right back, Zinchenko left back, Gabriel of Arsenal, center back, left center back, not Paulista, Gabriel Magalhaes. Both of them are Brazilian, but you know who I'm talking about, alongside Sven Botman. And yeah, I'm playing a 4-2-3-1 because it's the formation that I like. Now the two midfielders playing in a double pivot. Let's start on the left side. I am going to cheat a little bit here and put in Martin Odegaard, only because, well, you'll know why. Only because I want to play another player in the cam role. But to be fair, first of all, we can't forget Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey. These two, and Odegaard, whether it's them playing in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, Partey playing with Granit Xhaka in a double pivot, and Odegaard in the number 10 role for them, attacking mid role, the triangle, or whether it's 4-3-3, Odegaard playing RCM, Xhaka LCM, they're playing as eights, and Partey sitting alone in the pivot in the number 6 role. These three have been pivotal to Arsenal's run so far, and that's the reason why they're top of the league as well. Like if any of these players they get injured, will they be where they are? I'm not so sure, because now you're seeing Eddie Nketiah stepping in for Gabriel Jesus, but Arsenal fans are worried if one of their midfielders get injured, then they have to rely on, El Neni and Lakonga. So we can't forget about Xhaka and obviously Thomas Partey, and let's not forget Casemiro as well. He's been vital for United this season. You'd see without him, the win percentage ain't very high, and they lost their last game against Arsenal without him because he was suspended, which was his fault for the yellow card that he received against Crystal Palace. But I'm going to play Odegaard here on the left, and on the right, I'm going to go with another player who's got under the radar. Well, beginning of the season, everyone was talking about him. Now, not really, but he plays for Fulham, and they're still doing well. What are they, like 7-8 on the table above Liverpool? So I'm going to give it to Paulinho. He's been absolutely fantastic for them this season. And if I'm not wrong, he has the most tackles as well in the Premier League, and that's amazing. Every time I watch Fulham, he's just all over the pitch doing bits for them. I think in the summer you could see him, moving on to a bigger club. I'm sure teams will come in for him. A talented player. He came from Sporting, he's been one of the best players so far this season, definitely. There you go. Now here, some may disagree, but I'm going to put in KDB. I know he's not been at the best ever since we came out from the World Cup. Dropped some games as well. But City as a whole, they weren't up to their standards. You see the games against Everton, or even before the World Cup against, what was it? Brentford. And another one recently, when they lost to Man United in the derby. But he's the highest in assists. He has the most assists this season, and we will talk about the big man up top who will win the Golden Boot this season and probably break the record in doing so. But if it wasn't for KDB, then, Erling Haaland wouldn't have as many goals as he does right now. Is it 25, right? So KDB, he has 11 assists, I believe. I'm going to put him in. And now, you know what? You guys already know who's going to be the man up top. 25 goals, 30 or 31 all comps. Who else but Erling Haaland can possibly win Player of the Season as well? Him or Odegaard. I think whoever wins the league will win it. Now, right wing. There's only two when it comes to right winger, or in here listed as right mid RM. It's between Saka and Almiron. Saka, obviously, he's got 7 goals, 7 assists this season. One of the best players in the Prem, one of the best for Arsenal. Scored a great goal the other day against Man United. He's got a sweet left foot, had a great World Cup for England as well. Meanwhile, Almiron, he's one of Newcastle's standout players so far this season, one of the best players for them. I think he took it personally about what Jack Grealish said to him, last summer. He's got 9 goals, but I think just 1 assist. Another great player with a great left foot. You know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit again here because I need both of them in my team, and I'll tell you why. The only one who comes close to play left wing who will make it to my team is obviously Rashford, who's got 9 goals as well. Obviously, the run he's had since the World Cup has been insane, scoring how many games in a row, God knows. But as a Liverpool fan, I just don't want to see any United player in this team, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm going to cheat here and put Almiron on the right. And Saka can do a job on the left. I'm pretty sure he's played left wing back before. He can play anywhere across the front line, the front three. So yeah, I am going to cheat. But hey, it's my channel, like I said. So it's Saka on the left. But yeah, shout outs to Rashford. And obviously the likes of Foden. He's been down since the World Cup. And Bernardo Silva. So yeah, this is my team. Obviously, Joelinton plays on the left for Newcastle as well. Plays in the mid sometimes, being great since Newcastle played him as a left midfielder. But this is my team of the season so far. In goal, Alisson Becker from Liverpool. Right back, Trips from Newcastle. Zinchenko from Arsenal. Gabriel Magalhaes, don't forget, from Arsenal, with Sven Botman from Newcastle. Martin Odegaard and Paulinho in the double pivot. Paulinho from Fulham. KDB in the number 10. Camero, Saka left, Almiron right, and the man himself, the beast, the monster, Erling Haaland up top. That's it for this, people. Let me just stop sharing my screen. And obviously there's Martinelli as well, being great so far for Arsenal this season. Maybe not as good as Saka, but he's been pretty good on the left, and now they signed Trossard as well as a backup who can play there or anywhere across the front line. And yeah, another one I forgot to mention on the right is also Riyad Mahrez. I think he's been playing well so far, some cracking goals for Man City. Let me know what you think, and give me your team of the season so far. Which ones do you agree with? Which one do you not agree with? Please let me know. Now, moving on to the last part of the show. It is the preview of the Brighton FA Cup 4th round game Can Liverpool get their revenge? Can Liverpool defend this title of theirs, this trophy? We're the defending champions of the FA Cup, the reigning champions of this competition. Can we get a revenge, going back to the Amex again? Honestly, I don't see it because I don't think Brighton will rotate as much because they have to go for these competitions, these cups, and especially because they have a week in between until their next Premier League game. Same with us. We don't play midweek. So after we play Brighton Sunday, I believe we have Wolves in the Prem on Saturday, the following weekend. So both teams will go strong, in my opinion. I think Klopp might rotate a bit, which makes me think if it's going to be Kelleher or Alisson, because last time against Wolves, when we had no games before or after this game, Alisson started. He said Alisson will be my cup keeper, But when we had the replay game, which was just 2-3 days after our game against, what was it, Brighton in the Premier League on a Saturday, we had to play Wolves on a Tuesday night. It was Kelleher. But I'll give you my lineup, what I would do in goal Kelleher, because again, it's the only competition he's going to play in, He's not going to play in the Champions League or the Premier League. Only if Alisson gets injured, touch wood, then, I don't see him coming in at all. So Kelleher and goal. Right back, I'll throw Trent back in because, I think he should be fit now. He came on in the last game against Chelsea. We need some creativity back in the game. And left back, I'm going to play the strongest as well, Robertson, even though I don't mind rotating and playing Simicast. But like I said, our next game is obviously another week. So I will play the strongest possible with some changes. Center back, I would definitely bring in Matip back for this. And yeah, I'll play with Konate. I think Gomez, he's done well in the last 2 games, 2 clean sheets, but I'll bring back Matip for this. I think he's been rested enough. And I want to see him bringing the ball out from the back again, bringing to the midfielder, the guy who can carry the ball up for us when we play out from the back. And in the number 6 role, I would play Basetic again, because like I said, it's only about our next game being a week later, but our last game was also a week before, by the time we play on Sunday. So Basetic, I want to see him in the 6 again. Thiago on the left. Now on the right, I think for this game, we've seen Naby in the last 2 games. But I might throw the captain back for this because I think he should be ready for this now that he's been rested in our last 2 games. He wasn't on the bench against Wolves in the replay game and obviously came on against Chelsea. So I hope this guy, the captain himself, can step it up and, be there when we need him now to push us through to the next round. So I'll bring him back in. And I think Klopp will definitely play him as well. Now that he's played those 3 midfielders for 2 games in a row, I think he will make some changes to it this time. And I think it'll be our captain. Now on the front line, again, I want to play a 4-2-3-1, but I know Klopp's not going to do it. Yes, it's my lineup, but I got to be realistic as well. So that's for the midfielder front 3. Darwin has to start. He came back in the last game, recovered from his hamstring injury. Throw him back in. He came on against Chelsea, but this time playing from the beginning as a striker, not on the left, even though he's been good, when he's played on the left so far because of his pace. We know the chaos he can cause, right? Mr. Chaos, Captain Chaos, whatever you want to call him. About playing in the middle with Mo Salah on the right. Honestly, I think it is time to drop him as well. but I'll give it a go for one last time before throwing the likes of like Ben Doak or Harvey on the right, who's played an amazing game against Wolves on the right wing. As I mentioned, what a great goal that he scored, the winning goal for us that got us to this round. And on the left, I'll play Gakpo in his position because in our last two games against Chelsea and against Wolves, he's been playing up top. So yeah, I want to see him, you know, back on the left side in his position. And yeah, the rest, Ox again, Carvalho again. These guys will be on the bench. Curtis, Klopp doesn't really fancy Carvalho, so you know he's on the left wing anyways. And even Curtis and Ox, they're not left wingers, man. Let's be honest. They're all like cams, number 10s who can do a role on the left or in the 8 position. But our left wingers, as you all know, they're injured, Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota. So that's my lineup. And for the score prediction, I'm not gonna lie, I think we lose this one. I think the crowd will be up for it for Brighton again. I don't see us going through to the next round. Unfortunately, Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. Hurts me to say it because it's the only cup I see us winning realistically. If we can defend this trophy, but it is what it is. I don't see us beating Madrid and going to the last 8 to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So, yeah, sucks for me to say it, but you know, there's like what a week remaining in the transfer window. I really want to see a midfielder walking in. If not, there's going to be question marks. There's rumors about Jude now in the summer. Liverpool is most likely his destination. We'll see what happens. I'm hearing about us waiting for Wolves to complete their business this window before putting in a bid for, Ruben Neves. Was he their captain or something? That's going to be a deadline day thing again, whether we loan someone in like Artur Melo or, I won't be surprised if no one walks through the door. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please smash a like if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.